Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Pittsburgh Steelers, Super Bowl champion head coach suggests wild NFL draft QB option. The Pittsburgh Steelers are still in a waiting game on the Aaron Rodgers front. But even if Rodgers ended up landing with them, the Steelers will still need someone to handle the job under center long term. With the number 21 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Steelers can use that to find a possible future franchise quarterback, whom they have struggled to find ever since Ben Roethlisberger retired from football. For Super Bowl champion head coach and Pro Football Hall of Famer Tony Dungy, one solution for the Steelers is Oregon Ducks product Dillon Gabriel, hat tip Troy Montgomery of Steelers Depot. "We've gotta address that quarterback position," Dungy said Thursday on his podcast, Football Night in America. "I'm gonna make a shocking pick here and I'm gonna pick Dillon Gabriel from the University of Oregon. I think he's a Bo Nix clone. He's played 6 years in college football," Dungy continued. "He's thrown over 1,300 passes. He's got a high percentage of completions. Doesn't throw interceptions. He's mobile. He doesn't have maybe the big name of Sanders, but I think he is a guy who can step in and play and fix that quarterback." Before declaring for the 2025 NFL Draft, Gabriel played for the UCF Knights, Oklahoma State Cowboys and the Ducks. In 2024, he passed for 3,857 yards and 30 touchdowns with 6 interceptions on a 72.9% completion rate. For more Pittsburgh Steelers football news and updates, follow me on X, formerly Twitter, at @RexWell14. Also, do not forget to regularly check out the latest Gridiron Heroics content. To read more of our articles and keep up to date on the latest in the world of NFL and college football in terms of transactions, analysis, game previews, free agency, recruitment, transfers, and more, just click here. Get the latest pro and college football news, analysis, and breaking stories on the NFL, NCAA, fantasy football, and more. Tap the star to add us to your favorites on Google News, so you never miss a story from the football field. Browns may be able to claim tens of millions from Deshaun Watson's contract after all by Matthew Marksey posted on April 14, 2025 at 5:40 a.m. The Cleveland Browns admitted their blunder in giving Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed $230 million contract. But perhaps they weren't so stupid as to leave themselves entirely unprotected. With perhaps a glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel, it seems they can recover millions from insurance. Because of his injury last season, they can stand to claim up to roughly $58 million. This is according to Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, who obtained a copy of Watson's contract with the Browns. He writes that the deal includes an insurance addendum that provides coverage in the event of injury or death. In his reckoning, this allows the team to claim in the ballpark of $60 million, if they can get it from the insurance company, of course. Watson suffered a torn Achilles in Week 7 of the 2024 season, Florio wrote of the Browns quarterback. If the insurance is based on the portion of the season Watson played, they'd presumably get all of the $12.691 million from the 2024 signing bonus, which was more than $40 million, less than half of his $1.21 million 2024 base salary, and, if as expected he doesn't play in 2025, $44.274 million for 2025. Our latest videos. Florio claims this will reduce the salary cap pain, though doesn't make it directly clear that this affects the salary cap. Based on the wording, I would read that he is saying the Browns could recoup this money from Deshaun Watson. Otherwise, why would it be in Watson's contract, after all? He also points out that the Browns still have to account for $135 million of Watson's $230 million deal. That is because they have repeatedly restructured the contract, turning salaries into signing bonuses. They will have to pay the piper down the road, but at perhaps a fortuitous discount due to injury. Watson not only injured his Achilles but subsequently aggravated it, putting his participation for the Browns for the 2025 season in question. Even if he insists he will return better than ever, nobody is obligated to believe him. I doubt that the Browns do. They have traded for Kenny Pickett and re-signed Joe Flacco, and also hold the second overall draft pick. Pickett plans to win the starting job, though, so does everybody else, don't they? As for Deshaun Watson, it is not at all clear he will ever start for the Browns, or anybody, again. Especially if he sits out the entirety of the 2025 season, the NFL may prefer to lose him in the shuffle. Anybody who would sign him would have more than football questions to answer for it. And the football questions that need answering are bad enough to avoid doing so. He has kind of sucked for a while. Aaron Rodgers is already losing the Steelers' locker room without even being there. Aaron Rodgers has always been a polarizing figure. His talent is undeniable, but his well-documented indecisiveness and tendency to operate on his own timeline have rubbed plenty of people the wrong way over the years, including some inside the New York Jets organization during his short stint with the organization. Now, it appears that same energy is already making waves in Pittsburgh. Rodgers has yet to even commit to playing for the Steelers in 2025, but frustration is reportedly brewing within the locker room. NFL Network's Tom Pelissero reported on an episode of The Rich Eisen Show on Thursday that there are many within the Steelers organization who are frustrated with the team's lack of direction at the quarterback position. The Steelers report for off-season workouts in just over a week, and the team still doesn't appear to be any closer to receiving an answer from Rodgers, who continues to weigh his options. That doesn't appear to be going over well with his potential future teammates. That opinion, from everything I've been told, is not solely to Cam Hayward. There are other people, certainly in the organization, the locker room, who are just going like, "What are we doing? We're back for off-season workouts in 10 days. We're coming up on the draft. What is the plan?" Tom Pelissero. Aaron Rodgers has already lost the Steelers' locker room. One of the more vocal sources of that frustration has been longtime Steelers defensive lineman Cameron Hayward. Speaking on the Not Just Football podcast last month, Hayward didn't mince words when asked about Rodgers potentially joining the team. He made it clear that he has no interest in waiting around like the Jets did 2 years ago. "I ain't doing that darkness retreat. I don't need any of that crap," Hayward said. "Either you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or you don't. It's that simple." Rodgers may have been respected and even admired by many of his teammates in New York, but the off-field distractions that came with him often proved to be more of a burden than a benefit. Between media tirades, cryptic public comments, and an ever-present sense of drama, Rodgers brought a level of noise the Jets simply didn't need. Wide receiver Garrett Wilson was notably among those who never seemed to fully click with Rodgers on or off the field. It wasn't hostility, but it wasn't chemistry either. And it added to the sense that Rodgers, for all his talent, came with a price. The Jets found that out the hard way, and with Rodgers coming off his worst NFL season in 2024, the organization made the decision to part ways with him in the offseason. Given the scarcity of quarterbacks in this year's market, the four-time MVP is still, at least on paper, the Steelers' best option. But the longer this drags out, the more likely it is that his potential future teammates grow resentful of the situation, and possibly of him. Rodgers may still be the Steelers' top option, but his indecision is already wearing thin. If he does land in Pittsburgh, he could be walking into a locker room that's already losing patience. Are you a fan? What do you think about Aaron Rodgers' situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.